Welcome to our pre-show, the show before the show, where we chat about what's coming up and we give you a little behind-the-scenes look. June is Pride Month. Our guests today are Lori Pelletier and Peter Greenberg, who will tell us all about themselves, how they joined the Machinists Union, and why they got involved as activists. Yesterday was Juneteenth, commemorating when slaves in Texas learned they were free. This is Peter Greenberg, one of our guests. Juneteenth was the official end of slave labor in the United States, at least on paper. We are going to have a mug giveaway as well, this mug right here. And it says Activate Live on it. And we'll tell you all about how to do that. Peter, you're here for our pre-show. Thanks for joining us.
It's a pleasure to be here, Tanya.
Yeah, so we are about 1 minute away. In that 1 minute, can you tell us really quick, what have you been up to?
Well, it's been a busy month, as always at the IM, but it's also Pride Month, and we're looking forward to talking a little bit more about that, how the IM has always been a progressive union in recent times, and how Pride at Work is the AFL-CIO constituency group, especially for union members who are LGBT, as well as their allies.
Great.
So, looking forward to talking about that.
I'm proud to say I'm a dues-paying allied member. I was telling Jeremy Davis that. So we're hoping more members join to make it as strong as possible.
Yes.
Well, it's still 2:59. We have a little bit of time. Okay, when you come back, scoot on in. Yeah, I mean, that'll be easy. So we're going to switch places a little bit. We're going to have Peter jump up and switch with Delane because it's 3 o'clock. So let's get started.
Peter.
Activate your voice!
Activate it now.
Voice activation.
Live from Maryland, this is Activate Live.
Welcome to Activate Live, our weekly show highlighting Machinists Union members across the United States and Canada. I'm Tanya Hutchins, coming to you live from IAM headquarters in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. June is Pride Month, and we have two guests who are Machinists Union members on our show today to educate us about their experiences in the labor movement. But first, here's Delane Adams with the latest IAM news. Delane?
Thank you, Tanya. How are you doing today?
Pretty good.
Good. I want to congratulate. We have big news coming out of Empire State College. The first two IAM members were able to obtain their master's degree at the beginning of June. Grace DiBartolo and Edison Frazier. You see their picture on the screen. Nice picture by Rich Luciani. Great picture.
Congratulations. That is amazing.
Yeah, congratulate them for the long journey, finally completing that. And congratulations to our partnership with Empire State College. So
That's a great partnership.
Great program.
To be able to get your master's degree.
Yes, and then for Edison and Grace to be the first ones. I mean,
Yes. And I'm giving a shout out to SUNY, State University of New York, because I'm from New York. But
yeah,
so
go
SUNY.
New York. So, and we have great news coming out of South Carolina. It's official. After voting nearly 2-1, that unit is now certified.
All right.
They're an appropriate bargaining unit, and now they have the legal right to go ahead and negotiate a better life for their families.
And these are some of the new members are in this picture.
Yeah, some of the new members are in that picture. Yeah, it's a good crew of men and women out there who took a stand and stood up. And
I was out there and was able to meet some of them with the lead organizer, Mike Evans, in the middle there. And we have our organizing director, Vinny Adio, as well as some of the lead local on-the-ground organizers, the workers that actually came and approached us. So.
They did.
And you were down there.
I was. And they still need support. So please show your support on Facebook in the comments. That we have a petition that's out there. But if you want to continue to get this news, just on Boeing, South Carolina, and all of the great things that are happening within the IAM, please sign up for our email. We'll look at a graphic. Yeah, visit goim.org. Sign up for our email. You'll get our email every Tuesday and Thursday with all the great news. A lot of great people work on this to make sure you get the best news coming out of the Machinists every Tuesday and Thursday. Shout out to Joyce Shepard, Andy Hounshell, Rich Luciani, Jonathan Battaglia, everybody who's involved with IMAIL.
They worked really hard on it. Thank you so much. It's a great resource.
All right. Thank you, Tanya.
Thanks, Delane.
Right.
Well, see this mug right here.
It's a great mug.
It's an Activate Live mug, and we're giving one away today at the end of the show. So if you would like to enter, all you have to do to win this mug is just type the word mug into comments. We'll gather the names in about 10 minutes after Lori's interview and announce the winner at in a drawing at the end of the show. So comment now. You have about 10 minutes. Well, Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Transgender Month is a time when we commemorate the Stonewall Rebellion, which occurred at the end of June 1969 in Manhattan after an early morning police raid. It was a turning point for the gay liberation movement in the United States. The Stonewall Inn is now a national monument. Well, Pride Month has grown to honor the contributions made by the LGBTQ community as a whole. The IAM is an allied member of Pride at Work, a constituency group of the AFL-CIO that represents LGBTQ members and their allies to make unions better when it comes to social and economic justice for all. Our first guest is a longtime Machinists Union member, Lori Pelletier, who's also the president of the Connecticut AFL-CIO. Welcome, Lori.
Tanya, thanks for the invite.
Now, Lori, first we wanted to learn a little bit about you. You're a machinist. Where were you working when you first started to join the IAM?
I was a jet engine inspector in the Middletown Pratt Whitney plant here in Connecticut. And I was, young, 23 years old, and joined the Machinists Union because I was being abused by my supervisor at work. And so one of the other women in my department said, I should call out a steward. And I said, I'm not a member. And she said, well, we'll take care of that. And then I called out a steward and haven't looked back since.
Well, we're so glad that you did join. What difference did that make once you became a member and you saw that you had that access to like grievance procedures and things like that?
Well, it felt that, to me, it was that finally somebody cared about me. The factory environment back in the mid to late 1980s was hectic. There was a lot of Me Too situations that there was no outlet, and it was the Machinists Union who gave me a voice, who gave me an education, gave me leadership skills that I didn't know I had. And so, 31, 32 years later, I'm fortunate to serve as the president of the Connecticut AFL-CIO because the Machinists Union took a chance on me. And
we are so glad because you're doing a great job. As a woman, how hard was it to rise through the ranks?
Well, I was super fortunate. I had a number of mentors that were leaders in my local union. And, they helped. Certainly being, there was only 300 women out of our 3,000 members in the plant at the time. And so being a woman officer was a little difficult, but I was grateful and thankful for my brothers who looked out for me, who also promoted me, and who agreed that, it was important to have diversity at the table.
What is your message to young women that may just be starting out in the shop, like you did so many years ago?
Well, I think that it's important that they take it on themselves. Don't rely on somebody else to look out for you. Go to your union meetings, go and participate and have your voice heard because, ultimately it's up to you to carry this on. Many of us in the next decade will be, retiring hopefully. And, there needs to be this next group. And so, I'm really encouraged the fact that workers under the age of 30 are so enthusiastic about unions because I think that bodes well for all of us that, there's a strong future ahead.
Now, Lori, it's Pride Month, and you're the first openly gay state federation officer nationwide. Did that timing surprise you that it's taken so long?
No, I think that, in Connecticut, we had just 2 officers. I mean, I was elected as the first openly gay officer in 1999. Getting to the role of president, that happened in 2013. So, I mean, I was there in the movement at that level for 14 years. If anything, I think that it just shows that there was support, there was a willingness to make sure that it was going to happen, and it did. But, I've been in leadership since 1999, so, That seems like a very long time ago, but it really wasn't.
Yeah, when you think about our history, it really isn't, that long. From
Right.
when you began as president until now, how have working conditions improved for LGBTQ workers? Or
Well,
not?
here in Connecticut, well, I think that here in Connecticut, we're fortunate. Our current governor, although he's unpopular on a number of other issues, has been a champion for LGBTQ workers. He nominated, just a few months ago, he nominated what would have been the first openly gay state Supreme Court Chief Justice. But unfortunately, the homophobia is still out there. And so they were able to beat back that vote. And, it was really quite sad. This is someone who Justice McDonald has given his life to community service and to public service. So we don't have a Chief Justice, but we still have a very strong executive branch and many in the legislative branch that support us and aren't going to give in the ways that we see cases.
Lori, what do you tell members who are experiencing discrimination on the job in terms of what tactics they can use to fight back?
Well, the first thing they need to do is if they have a union in their shop, they need to call out a steward. I mean, that should be the first thing. And if they don't, ultimately, when you go to work, you're an at-will employee. And so if you don't have a union, it's really hard to fight. So the best thing they can do is join a union and bring a union into their work site.
I totally agree. I'm going to give you a chance right now, open mic, if there's anything else you'd like to mention, not only to our members in Connecticut, but union workers and non-union workers nationwide.
Well, I think that it's important in this sort of snapshot of history right now, see the voices that are rising to the top. And whether it's the women's marches, whether, this now with the border and the separation of children, that every voice matters. That, the Women's March in D.C. that had over 1 million people there started by some setting up a Facebook account and thinking they could get a few friends to go. So every voice is important, and your voice can be amplified if you belong to a union. And that to me is the key to what will correct the current path we're on.
Okay, I hope so. I'm hoping everybody will activate their voice, and that's part of why we're doing this show. So thank you so much, Lori, for joining us. We're glad, and you're welcome to come back anytime.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So let us know, what do you think about treating people with respect and dignity in the workplace? Comment now to activate your voice. How do you support your coworkers when you see them being treated unfairly? We want to hear from you. Now, if you're just joining us, we announced at the beginning of the show that we're giving away a mug at the end of the show, but we're closing the entries now. So time's up. We will pick a winner closer to 3:30. So this mug is going to be given away in just a few more minutes. Well, June is Pride Month, as we've been discussing, and we're introducing you to Machinists Union members who are also activists when it comes to fighting discrimination on the job. Our next guest is a National Executive Board member of Pride at Work, Peter Greenberg, who is one of my colleagues and my shop steward, and he joins us now. Thank you for being here,
Sonia.
Peter.
It's great to be here.
Well, when and where did you first join the Machinists Union?
So I've been a member of the Machinists Union for about 18 years now. I started with Continental Airlines in June of 2000 as a flight attendant in Newark, New Jersey, member of Local 2339N.
All right.
And shortly thereafter, had never been in a union before and thought, this sounds kind of interesting, so let me go to a union meeting and see what it's all about. And that was the start of a long journey, which has wound me up sitting next to you today.
Was that like a cultural awakening when you saw the difference between working in a non-union shop to a union shop?
Definitely. I mean, it really was interesting for me to see, great, we have all these protections and things spelled out clearly for us as union workers, and it made me really value the fact that I was part of a union and made me interested and wanted to get more involved.
Now tell us a little bit about what you do now for your job.
So now I work at IAM headquarters in our Strategic Resources Department, which is kind of like the research department. And I assist with negotiations, financial research, company analysis, as well as study of pension and retirement plans.
And we give tours in the communications department. We often go down to the second floor, and Peter's one who often comes out and tells everyone on the tour who is taking a class from the Whippasinger Center. So we hear a lot about what you do, and he's really great about explaining everything. So thank you for that as
You're
well.
welcome.
So how did you first get involved with Pride at Work?
So I've probably been a member for about 10, 11 years, and I was asked by now retired General Vice President Diane Babineau to serve as the IAM's representative to their National Executive Board, and it was something that I thought was a really interesting opportunity because it's this unique intersection of labor rights and union issues, which I'm obviously very passionate about, as well as equality and LGBT issues.
Now, what does your role as the board member involve?
So the board consists of representatives of various unions. We meet on a regular basis to approve various items, our agenda, almost like as we would have at a local union meeting, and figure out our budget, figure out what types of activities we're going to undertake. For example, this August, we're going to be having the Pride at Work convention in Phoenix, Arizona, and we're really looking to have a strong IAM contingent there representing IAM members across the U.S., hopefully maybe some Canadian members as well.
That'd be great.
And, a variety of different industries.
And here's the information here if anyone's interested, because registration is still open. August 23rd to the 25th is the Pride at Work convention. So I think the early bird deadline may have just passed, but you can still register.
And there's lots of information on prideatwork.org, the organization's website, where you can see a sample agenda and just in general learn more about their activities and, of course, sign up to be a member, because we would love to have as many members as possible from the IAM in Pride at Work.
Now, I hope to be there. Joe Heckman hopes to be there as well. So at least you got two more from us.
We will look forward to that.
Okay. As a shop steward, are there any tactics that you can recommend to people that may be experiencing discrimination on the job? I know Lori said first thing you should do is contact your shop steward if you have a union, and you are a shop steward. So what are some of the tactics that you see people using to try to fight back?
So I think as union members, we're very fortunate that we do have a network of support to enable us to voice our concerns, and that starts with the shop steward. And for you and your coworkers here, I'm your shop steward and kind of your first line of defense. And that really is the first place you should turn to if you're experiencing any kind of discrimination in the workplace, because the shop steward can help you navigate the channels that are necessary to go through to make sure that this is stopped. And if it's not stopped, then it gets escalated to the next level.
How can we as allies help if we see something in the workplace?
That I think, again, you have your shop stewards there as the frontline defenders, but also show your support for your coworkers who might be the victim of any form of discrimination. And the IAM, as we know, wholeheartedly stands against any form of discrimination. And when you go to the Whippasinger Center, they say the first thing they say is you can't be a trade unionist if you are a racist, a bigot, etc. And that applies to all of us at all levels of the IAM.
I know, it's often hard to speak up, but that's what I have vowed to do if I see something.
And I think the one great thing about our members and our activists is that most people are not hesitant to speak up in our union.
Yep. I talk to strangers. Some people might think that's not the smart thing to do, but I will speak up to a stranger if I have to.
I can definitely see that.
I'm hoping. See how he said that? He's like, I can see that. So in this environment, we're in a different political, social environment that we have been in years. And a lot of us feel like it's going backwards to like the 50s and 60s. So Do you feel like we're making progress fast enough, or is it almost like one step forward, two steps back?
You know, I think we've made so much progress in the last decade or so, it will be impossible to reverse that. Yes, it's difficult times. It's challenging to see the headlines we see every day, be it about children being separated from their parents, federal regulations being rolled back, abandonment of human rights organizations. But we've made so much progress in so many different fronts, especially in terms of equality. One thing our retired international president Tom Buffenbarger fought very hard as a member of the Boy Scouts of America board of directors to include LGBT people in their organization. And you know, we're going forward, and none of these things are changing back. So I take that even amongst all the clouds, there might be a little bit of silver lining.
I love the way you think. Thank you. There is always hope.
Yes,
and we have to keep
agree.
fighting. Is there anything else you'd like to mention that we haven't?
You know, I think that's really it. Is we have to keep up the fight. We can't be complacent, even though we have won so much in the last decade or so. I think, unfortunately, the current administration is a bit of a wake-up call that while things might have seemed secure, they're not always, and we need to remain vigilant and remain activists and keep fighting, just like the fighting machinists.
Well, thank you so much, Peter, for joining
you.
us. Peter Greenberg from our Strategic Resources Department, and he is also a National Executive Board member of Pride at Work. For more information about Pride at Work, visit www.prideatwork.org. That's prideatwork.org. And let us know what you think by commenting on this video. You know, have you experienced discrimination on the job? And if so, what did you do about it? And what worked best? We also want to remind you, and you can comment on Facebook. You can also hit the reply button on Twitter as well. We would like to remind you that Pride at Work is hosting an event celebrating solidarity on June 28th at the AFL-CIO headquarters in downtown Washington, D.C. This year's event honors the Union Veterans Council, and I will be there. So there you can save the date, celebrating solidarity, June 28th in downtown Washington, D.C. if you happen to be in D.C., Maryland, or Northern Virginia. That is right downtown at the AFL-CIO headquarters. We have our hat here. And before I go to this hat, I just want to say hello and thank you to all the people that have joined us. John Linbo, Giles Shepard, Robert Barnwell, Rhonda Rogers says, hi, Peter. Who else? John Linbo, hello. So thank you to everyone who has commented so far. So we reminded everybody that we have this hat, and I see a few names in it. So I'm going to shake it up, but first I'm going to go through. You're going to hang out for a minute, right, Peter?
Sure.
We're going to go through a little bit of our calendar items before we pick the winner of our mug. So this is a reminder to support our IAM members in our Midwest territory. Mechanics Local 701 is holding a rally Monday, June 25th, outside Napleton Cadillac in Libertyville, Illinois. That's in the Chicagoland area. And we stand in solidarity with our members fighting for a fair first contract. Listen up, if you're a labor communicator or writer, you can submit the Labor Media Awards competition. If you or your local is a member of the International Labor Communications Association, or ILCA, you can enter categories like organizing, visual communications, electronic media, or best multimedia campaign. Physical media is due July 23rd, about a month from now, and online submissions must be uploaded by July 30th. For more information on the Labor Media Awards, visit ilcaonline.org. That's ilcaonline.org. If you're a Machinists Union member interested in taking a summer class at our William W. Wimpesinger Education and Technology Center in Hollywood, Maryland, registrations are due for August classes. Leadership 1, Train the Trainer, and Spanish Train the Trainer. If you're interested in taking the Community Services class in September, the deadline for that class is July 9th. You'll be putting our motto into practice, justice on the job, service to the community, and the information and the website is right there. Our upcoming state council meetings include the Washington State Council has its second quarter meeting June 21st to the 23rd in Spokane, and the Texas State Council meets June 29th to July 1st in Austin. The Canada Staff Conference started today in Vancouver. The TCU IAM Convention is July 25th in Nevada, or Nevada as they say. Joe Heckman and I will be there for a special edition of Activate Live. The IAM Safety and Health Conference is August 12th in Maryland. Register for that ASAP. The LACLA Convention is in August 8th in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Glad to see the LACLA convention supporting the recovery effort there. And the Pride at Work Convention is August 23rd in Phoenix. Joe and I hope to be there as well. Well, it's time to announce the winner of our mug giveaway. So I'm going to pull this little hat out and shake it up. There's only a few names in there, only a few people got in that 10 minutes. So I'm actually going to let Peter pull the name. So pick one. Here we go. He's making sure it's getting all mixed up.
All right.
Okay, who is it, Peter?
Our winner is Andrea Picasso.
Oh, all right, Andrea Picasso. She's going to be so excited. I think she's watching too. So congratulations, Andrea Picasso. We will send you a direct message so that you can tell us where to ship it. So congratulations. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching, and you can still comment after the show has ended. If you're watching the replay, you can still comment on Pride Month, how to fight discrimination on the job, or how you support your colleagues. Happy Pride Month from the Machinists Union, and happy summer, which begins tomorrow. Join us next Wednesday on this same social media channel, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. Until then, activate your voice on the job and in your community.